Keyonia Cox, you know this is a pleasure. It has been like a 3-year period that you contacted me for one situation, and I did not know that you were doing all these awesome things. Thank you for bringing me into your circle, and I want to thank you for being the nutritionist for the Oxford Street community, which is the core for the whole Southeast. But what we're really here to talk about is you and all the great things that you're doing. And I want to thank you for tapping into the most precious thing on this planet, and that's our children. And you have these great children books. And I want to let you know that I am in full celebration of making sure these books get into the hands of the children in this community for the very simple reason they have a story to tell as well. And for what I see that you've been able to do is actually phenomenal. I heard that you're not just local, you're not just statewide. You're not just United States. I hear that you're international.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would love for you to just share a little bit about all the things that you've been doing and why you do it. I'm looking at these 3 books and I don't want to take away from any of your excitement. So I'm going to give you the floor. Would you please share with us what you've been doing?
Yes, Miss Diane. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It is a pleasure, and just thank you so much. When I was 7 years old, my parents found out that I had epilepsy. And so from there, I just had life struggles with being an epileptic. And so I actually wrote my first book, I Have Epilepsy, a while ago, but I decided to go ahead and publish it in 2021. So I did my homework and research and everything. And I said, okay, this is it. This is the time for it. And so the reason why I wrote I Have Epilepsy is because I was raised with a voice. And I know that I have a voice, and I wanted to make a difference in the world and in children.
And you started that, didn't you?
In the community.
Yes.
In terms of educating them on epilepsy awareness. There was just, to me, not enough awareness for epilepsy. And a lot of people just did not know what epilepsy was and actually how to help someone who has epilepsy.
But just to put your private, that's something that's so private, and for someone to see you, what is that? And for people that know what epilepsy is. Epilepsy, I can't even pronounce it. So just imagine all of the things that people don't know about this disease and how it affects the lives of children. And with some of those things that you experienced, what was your biggest reason for wanting to prepare them?
I wanted to start with children first.
Right.
Because I'm an educator, first and foremost. So I do have a degree in education. And then I wanted to be able to read my story and to tell my story to my students and to children, to educate them, because children, they get excited and they like to learn. And so if you start from them, and then they'll go home and they'll talk to their parents or they'll talk to their brothers and sisters and say, wow, we had someone educate us today on epilepsy. I learned about epilepsy today, or I know about epilepsy now. And so I felt that was important to start with them. And it was always a dream of mine.
Yes.
To be a children's author. I always wanted to be one.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 books.
And more on the way.
Yes. And that is just sharing that privacy, intimacy is how we continue to build. Because one thing I learned not too long ago, they were talking about how children and teachers teach the children and everything. And it really boils down that the children teach each other more than anyone. So with you providing this tool, what is the outcomes that you've been able to discover?
That children are learning about epilepsy and the awareness is growing. And so out of me publishing my first book, I Have Epilepsy, and teaching individuals about epilepsy, I decided to develop a platform. And so my platform is called Love for Lavender. And so that is where I do speaking engagements or use my platform to talk about epilepsy awareness to educate.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Um, I've seen someone have an episode. I got a chance to watch and assist with that process of having that seizure and what that looks like. In one of my past careers is being a first responder. It is very scary to see someone go through that. What would you like to share with family that may experience that? They may be for the first time, and then they get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to share with family and family members of how to address some of those concerns?
First and foremost, I have to give credit to my amazing mom.
My mom's great.
They are. She has been the backbone in helping to raise me to be a strong woman with epilepsy. And so she was always there for me and coaching me and telling me, Keyonia, you can do this. Okay, Keyonia, get up. Keyonia, you're going to be okay. And to know that I had to be strong with having epilepsy.
Yes.
And especially as an African American woman.
Yes.
That I just had to be strong. And just going through some of the things that I went through in terms of peers and some of the things that they said or people talking about me and having epilepsy.
Well, you're absolutely beautiful. So, I don't know. You come out of that, you're good. It's good that you don't stay permanent in that.
Yes.
Okay. It's not a permanent situation where you never come out. Some people never come out of it, right. But it's an episode. What triggers some of those things?
For individuals, different individuals, there can be different triggers.
Okay.
For me, I have two types of seizures. Okay. I have petit mal and I have grand mal seizures.
Okay.
And so both of those seizures affect both sides of my brain.
Okay.
And so when I'm down, I'm down. Okay. And so I have to just kind of rest and relax. Having juice, something to eat afterwards, is been the thing to help me gain my strength back.
Okay.
Once you do have a seizure, it is difficult. You do feel like you have been hit by a bus or a train and your body hurts. And so you do have to rest for a while and just take that break. And with my dad being a retired physical education teacher, I I had to learn to take care of myself and to put myself in the gym.
So you had mom and dad; they was your coaches there along the way. It sounds like.
Yes, they were. I love my family, but mom was just. I mean, she was just my strong backbone.
So just imagine some of those children that may have not had the parents that you had.
Right.
So maybe it might fall on a teenager or a loved one. How do you encourage someone that's stuck with that responsibility? What are some encouraging words that you can share with them? Or
to first educate yourself. So if you can find books, and that was one of the reasons why I wrote my book. You can find books, just information on how to help someone who has a seizure. That would be great. And then I am a board member for the Epilepsy Foundation. So I have a ton of materials that I can give to an individual who might have questions. But in
the process of that, since Oxford really want to share this information, because we know that, I know from my experience, there's a lot of things that trigger this disease to go into effect. And so with our community being in a red line community, I know that we have a lot of epilepsy in our community. I really want to help you with this platform to make people not be afraid of someone that may be going through an episode.
Yes.
And so I would love for you to share that with Oxford. And, this right here is abundance and not in disguise. This is the discovery of something that we have right here. And the doctor of this, to me, from what you're sharing with me, start with us educating ourselves and
That's
not
right.
being afraid.
That's right.
And not pushing that person out of the circle because they're different.
That's right. That's right. Because first and foremost, we're human beings.
Yes.
Just like anybody else. And we need inclusion.
Yes.
Just like anybody else.
Yes.
And so for a person who does have epilepsy, make sure that they are in a comfortable spot, comfortable position. Put maybe a pillow or jacket or whatever you have at that time that's soft
up under their head.
Put it under their head so that they don't continue to keep hitting their head while having a seizure. Lay them on their side and let them finish having their seizure.
Do it make any difference if it's the right or left side?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Just as long as try to help the saliva kind of come out of the mouth. Don't ever put anything in the epileptic's mouth. That was what was said back in the day. Put a spoon or something like that in their mouth. Don't ever put anything in their mouth, and just let them finish having their seizure.
Yes.
And if it's a first time seizure, yes, you may want to call the ambulance. But if it's not a first time seizure and a person actually does have epilepsy and they do have seizures, then don't call the ambulance, because we'll have the highest bill ever. So
so what you're sharing with me is so exciting, because just to have you wanting to share this knowledge and your experience and testimonies with Oxford, I would love for us in this summer, that we actually maybe have a day, have someone do the practice. If someone was to do something, how to not be afraid and how to step in and what do you do? And I would love for us to practice that and actually use some children to actually do this episode of what it looks like, or how to assist someone that's having an episode versus running away or laughing and what's wrong with them.
Exactly.
And so it is my honor to actually for you to share this. It's not even a secret anymore. This is what they call the educational platform for you to have knowledge and not have fear and have the wisdom. What do you need to do to take care of your loved one?
That's right. That's right. And a lot of people are scared of it. And a lot of people kind of don't want to hear about it, if you will.
Oh, I do.
Until it hits their doorstep.
I have a little story with that, but we'll talk about that another day. But this is absolutely tear-dropping, heart-fulfilling, and it's a pleasure to have you on the Oxford team, fighting for the whole community. I'm not going to say fight. I'm not going to use the word fight. I'm going to say the assignment of educating and sharing and empowering. And so it has definitely been a pleasure. And I want to know, do you have anything else that you want to share?
I do have 2 other books.
Okay.
The other one is called Consequences, and I published that one in 2023. And that one has an interesting twist to it. It has some learned morals, values.
This is why. Now, is this your first one?
That's my first one. Yes, I have epilepsy, so that's my epilepsy awareness.
And you have her chasing butterflies.
Because I love butterflies.
You know what? And you are flying in great grace, okay? So you picked the right insect and the one with the right wings, okay? Very awesome.
Thank you.
And the second one here.
Yes, Consequences. It has some learned lessons in there. So especially for my 4th graders and actually on up, because you can definitely learn from Consequences.
And so look at this. And she actually have, if you don't believe in nothing, she got some reindeers here and probably a gift with Santa sled here. That's awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. And, I kind of like this one here. Diamond in the rough.
A diamond in the rough.
Is that, that kind of looks like, Your eyes are very big here, but I'm going to tell you, you should have big eyes because you have big dreams, big aspirations. So this is awesome.
Yes. And that is for my tween to going into teenagers, and something that my parents did for me to give me the affirmations and the love and motivation and positive things to look forward to in my life, and to help create me to be the woman that I am today.
And I just want to let you know, Oxford, if you have not seen these 3 books, they're out. They're actually on Amazon. And I want to say this, she told me, but she told me twice, and I found out that she is one of the #1 children Amazon booksellers on the market. And I want to tell you, it's been a pleasure to know you. I'm thinking about writing. You just encouraged me to write a book because as much as I've worked with children, but I want to tell you, it has definitely been a pleasure to have you. Keep up the great work. Stay international, and I'm going with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes. Thank you for so much for sharing. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.